Alright, let's take a look at the best managerial appointment in the Premier League from every year dating back to 2004. 2004, Jose Mourinho. This was just mental. Back in 2004, Roman Abramovich was frothing at the mouth for a manager who could actually mould his millions into something resembling a coherent title-winning challenge. Jose Mourinho was a risk. Yes, he'd won the Champions League with Porto, but lads, that was the year Benny McCarthy became a Champions League winner. Greece were champions of Europe with an Ajax bench warmer up front. Clearly that had been a strange summer. Mourinho could have been a flash in the pan, but no, he wasn't. He came in, turned Chelsea into the best team in England, won 2 league titles, an FA Cup, a League Cup, before inexplicably being given the boot just over 3 years later. 2005, Harry Redknapp. Okay, I'll be honest, there weren't many candidates for 2005. Who was I gonna choose? Stuart Pearce, the lad who plays goalies up front? I'll go for Harry Redknapp, a man who in the space of 1 year had made an enemy of the entire south coast. The previous Christmas he'd left Pompey for Southampton only to get relegated, so by the time December 2005 rolled around, he was back at Fratton Park where he somehow pulled off the great escape, turned the human sack of rubble that was Benjani's career into a £9 million sale, oh yeah, and helped Portsmouth lift the FA Cup. Just how? 2006, Martin O'Neill. Okay, I could have gone for Alan Curbishley, who somehow kept West Ham up by their fingernails, but then again, considering they had Carlos Tevez up front, maybe that wasn't such an incredible achievement. I'm going to go for Martin O'Neill. When he arrived at Villa Park in August 2006, the club were halfway down the league. By the time he left 4 years later, they finished 6th 3 times in a row and reached a League Cup final. Incredible. 2007, Roy Hodgson. Appointed on the 30th of December 2007, Roy Hodgson was so close to having his Premier League career chewed up on the spot. When he arrived, Roy Sanchez had essentially choked the life out of Fulham, leaving them a bloodstained mess at the foot of the league. Hodgson was not an inspired choice. He hadn't had a job in England for 10 years. His last 3 roles were in the UAE, Viking and Finland. He had essentially been dragged out of the wilderness and handed a contract. It was a panicked, desperate decision. But no, he somehow kept the Cottagers up. A year later they qualified for Europe. The season after it was the Europa League final. From almost watching Fulham stumble into the Championship, he'd moulded a Europa League finalist, turning Bobby Zamora into an England international. Outstanding. 2008, Harry Redknapp. Yeah, Harry Redknapp crawls back into this list. Listen lads, this was incredible. When Redknapp arrived at the Spurs in October 2008, they were stuck at the foot of the league with 1 win in 8. Not only did he steady the ship, before long this man had them securing top 4 finishes and playing Champions League quarter-finals. Redknapp did an absolutely amazing job. For God's sake, the fellow was sacked in 2012 after guiding Spurs to yet another top 4 finish and an FA Cup semi-final. 2009, Carlo Ancelotti. I'm still not sure why Chelsea ever sacked Carlo Ancelotti. This man was one of their greatest coaches of the Premier League era. When he arrived in the summer 2009, they just finished 3rd in the league. Ancelotti arrives, secures a League Cup double in his first season, with Chelsea scoring over 100 goals in the process. Yeah, he finished 2nd the following year, but still, do you not think he deserved a bit more respect than to be dismissed in the Goodison Park toilets? 2010, Alan Pardew. Oh lads, this feels dirty. I can already hear Newcastle fans threatening to chuck their laptops down the toilet out of sheer goddamn disgust. And if you think that's an overreaction, well, this is the same fan base who took out their Derby rage on a goddamn horse. Listen, I know Alan Pardew had his faults at Newcastle. Christ, some of the performances he oversaw were a disgrace to human life itself. But what else am I gonna choose? Brian Laws, Ian Dowie, Avram Grant, Roy Hodgson, Steve Keane? Lads, this was the year football chairmen seemed to lose their goddamn minds. Pardew was the only managerial appointment in the entire year of 2010 that didn't turn out to be completely god-awful. And this fellow's plucked out the backers of League 1. Under Pardew, Newcastle finished 5th, reached Europa League quarter-final. Yeah, there were 6-0 defeats, humiliating losses, and an annual embarrassment in the FA Cup, but still, who else am I going to choose? 2011, Kenny Dalglish. Again, I didn't really have much to work with for 2011. Yeah, I'm going to go for Kenny Dalglish. No, it wasn't all rays of sunshine at Liverpool. I mean, he was the man who oversaw a £35 million deal for Andy Carroll, but hey, when he replaced Roy Hodgson in January 2011, the club were staring down the barrel of a gun. He improved them slightly, lifted the League Cup and reached an FA Cup final. Dalglish was an improvement, alright? 2012, Steve Clarke. Listen, Brendan Rodgers was a viable option for 2012, but no, I'm going to go for Steve Clarke, a man who actually just left Liverpool as part of the backroom staff. I'll be honest, I did not expect him to work out at West Brom, but lads, in his first season they finished 8th in the league with a club record 49 points and 14 wins. They stuck 5 goals past Liverpool without reply across 2 games, scored 5 goals against Man United at home, even outside of Berahino scoring. Clarke was a very good appointment. 2013, Tony Pulis. It takes a special achievement to keep Jose Mourinho or Manuel Pellegrini out of this list, and that's exactly what Tony Pulis did. Listen, this wasn't just one of the greatest Premier League escapes of all time, it was so much more. When Pulis was hired at Crystal Palace in November 2013, the club were stapled to the foot of the league, looking absolutely doomed. Friends and family of Pulis probably assumed he was insane to even accept the job. Not only did he keep them up, they finished 10th. 10th, unbelievable. They lost 9 of their opening 10 games, and here he was, picking up 12 wins across 6 months, including going on a 5-game winning streak. They only lost 1 of the last 8 games of the season, and even that was to the champions of England. How? Just how? 2014, Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino could have been a shout for 2013 too, but nah, there he was, linking up with Spurs in the summer of 2014. At the time, they were Tim Sherwood copy staying on the Premier League, forever pining for top 4 and falling flat every time. Under Poch, they turned into a Champions League regular. Sorry, not just that, Champions League finalist. No, he didn't win anything, but still, what a job he did in 5 years of that club. 2015, Jurgen Klopp. Where 2010 was the year every appointment turned out to be god-awful, 2015 was almost the opposite. Slaven Bilic, Quique Sanchez-Flores, Sam Allardyce, Claudio Ranieri, they can all feel aggrieved not to make this list. But no, I'm going for Jurgen Klopp, of course I am. How could I not? When he arrived in October 2015, Liverpool were 10th in the league with Christian Benteke up front. They'd recently conceded 5 in one half up at Stoke, for God's sake. Under Klopp, they reached 5 cup finals, won a Champions League, Super Cup, and are now on course to lift their first league title in 30 years. Klopp, take a goddamn bow. 2016, Pep Guardiola. Again, there's quite a few people who could feel aggrieved not to make the list for 2016, namely Antonio Conte, but how can I look past Pep Guardiola? He took a stale, stagnant Man City and turned them into one of the greatest Premier League sides of all time. Yeah, Conte had an incredible first season at Chelsea, but I'm sorry lad, Pep has built an absolute legacy at the Etihad. Yes, it's all gone wrong this season, their title challenge has slipped through a Benjamin Mendy hole in the ground, but just ignore that, alright? They've won nearly every single trophy on the planet, bar the Champions League, and playing a style of football that honestly is just eye-watering. 2017, Roy Hodgson. Again, like 2010, 2017 was the year of horrific appointments. Marco Silva, Frank de Boer, Mauricio Pellegrino, good lord, but no, I'm going to go for Roy Hodgson. When he took over Sellers Park in September 2017, they were 19th in the league without a goal all season. He's turned them into a solid mid-table outfit, somehow convinced Wilfred Zaha into signing a 5-year deal, and picked up some famous wins along the way. Not bad for a geriatric meme who once put Harry Kane on corner kicks. 2018, Darren Moore. You know what, I'm going to go for Darren Moore. Purely for the fact he almost pulled off the greatest Premier League escape I've ever seen in my life. When he, the caretaker coach, was lazily given the reins of West Brom in April 2018, the chairman had essentially accepted their fate was sealed. They were bottom of the league, had just lost 8 games in a row, were 10 points adrift of safety with 6 games left. So Moore comes in, immediately there was a win at Old Trafford, then a 2-2 home draw at Liverpool, back-to-back wins over Newcastle and Spurs. Somehow Moore had taken this doomed battle to the final day of the season. 2019, Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, Brendan Rodgers will probably feel annoyed not to have made the list for 2012. Don't worry lad, you're 100% making this list for 2019. When he was appointed Leicester boss in February 2019, they were 12th in the league. It's less than a year later and they're second. 11 points clear of 5th with the best defensive record in the country. And all this after flogging their best defender. What an incredible job Rodgers has done.